Hello, everyone, friends and beautiful people. It is Kathryn Massell, Elevated Consciousness Coach and 5D Visionary. Hello, and I want to talk about something I think is super duper important. And hi, Heidi. Give you a little boost for those of you that are feeling a lot of pain and loss right now, and maybe grieving for loss of people, loss of self, parts of self that feel lost, parts of self we sent away, any pain from feeling insecurity, or you're feeling unsafe, or you're feeling afraid, just generally fearful, with all this uncertainty happening and being in some really trying times. I'm gonna share this to my group real quick, my Global Acceleration of Ascension group. So let's see if I can find myself. There we go. I'm gonna share it to my Global Acceleration of Ascension group. So the reason I am sharing this now is, well, for some personal reasons, but also because we have a lot of very accelerated activity of moving forward into timelines that resonate with the new earth. There is an overall new earth timeline, and there's a lot of filters of energy coming into that. But we are being stretched really thin right now over a lot of different timelines at once. And a lot of the timelines that we are being stretched very thin over have to do with former identities of self centered around some degree of pain, a trauma event, some identifying factor that we are still dragging into the present over and over. And we think it's self-identifying. We think that it is self-definitive to come at everything in our life and make decisions from this place of pain when we are in a place of pain. And whatever trauma we keep responding to over and over again emotionally, we keep dragging this into the present, and it becomes this overall bubble of perception, a distorted lens, if you will. And from that place, we tend to make all the important decisions in our life about who we are, what we want to do, what kind of ideas or beliefs we can align with that might take us further into growth. Hi, Jante. And when we are constantly coming at these new potentials available from this former identity of self that we keep dragging into the present, what we're doing is obviously self-limiting, right? Because all of the potentials available now have everything to do with the New Earth timeline and aligning with the New Earth timeline. It is already here. The New Earth is already here. We have not anchored it yet. This has to be an individual effort first, obviously, in order for it to be a collective tipping point of mass consciousness. And the only way we can really do that is to be in our highest place, where we're not living, breathing, deciding everything in our life from a place of trauma, from a place of pain. So anywhere we have resentment, anywhere we are feeling fear, anywhere we are feeling grief, we're feeling rejection, loss, anger, irritation, sorrow or blame or mistrust or insecurity. These are all very low vibration ways of being. But there is something that is a common thread throughout all of them. Hi, Sarah. They have a lot of power behind them. Think of when you are having an experience with yourself. Maybe you're remembering something that you did that maybe you're having a hard time forgiving yourself for, or you're remembering an exchange that you had with another person where you can't let go of the blame around that person and the resentment that you have because they did this thing, right? Or maybe it's an overall feeling about the collective narrative in humanity. Maybe you're upset overall in the direction humanity is headed in. Any of those feelings that you have that are tied to diminishment, that feel discounting, that feel small, and we feel it. How do we know something is in alignment with the New Earth timeline? It feels good. Anything that doesn't feel good is out of alignment with the New Earth timeline. So let's just simplify that right there. So when we're in those feelings of, having the blame, the resentment, the anger, feeling like you want to have retribution. Maybe you feel rejection, a strong sense of sorrow and grief, like I mentioned. Those emotions, even though they are relegated to the lower end of the vibrational spectrum in terms of emotions, it has a lot of power. It's a lot of momentum behind that energy, right? It doesn't take too much of a stretch of the imagination to realize that if you go to bed at night and you're angry with someone, or you're feeling blame, or you're shooting yourself in the foot for something you did or said or how you behaved, if it feels like bliss, I'm aligned. Exactly, Heidi. And if we go to bed that way, we let our head hit the pillow that way, and we can go through that, endless carousel of thought around that one thing over and over again. Sometimes it keeps us up for 8 hours. That wouldn't be happening if there wasn't an incredible sense of power and momentum behind it, because energy is just energy. And whether it's an expenditure of energy to spend on something that isn't aligned with the New Earth timeline and doesn't feel good, in other words, it feels bad, it's still just energy. Or you could be using the same energy expenditure to be in bliss, like Heidi says. Hi, Agnieszka. To be in bliss. To be in a state where you feel like it's transcendent. You feel happy to be alive. You feel fulfilled. You feel satisfied. You feel a supreme sense of joy, at peace with yourself, at peace with the world. What we don't realize is those are equal energies, equal energy expenditures. And we're deciding each moment what to do with this energy surplus that we have. We can be spending it on something that keeps us out of alignment, keeps us out of bliss. Or we can be spending it on something that we're just spinning out in our own mind, on something that happened or someone said or we did, or some event that happened, some altercation, some exchange that made you feel out of alignment with your own sense of power, out of alignment with the New Earth timeline, out of control, right? And here's the thing about stretching into who we already are in the New Earth timeline. In order to really stretch and expand into the new dream of you, which is all your desires that you have right now, you wouldn't have them if they didn't exist somewhere in some timeline. Your desires are not random. They are created by you. They are generated by you. The feeling that you have that pushes some momentum behind this desire to make you think about it day after day after day, that's an energy expenditure too. And you as a creator in 3D, because we are creators, we are the keepers of 3D. If you have this desire, then it already exists. It already exists in the New Earth timeline. And in order to really stretch and expand into this version of who we are, this new dream of you, in other words, because we are dreaming ourselves into being, because this whole 3D experience is illusory. It's a dream. It's an illusion. But we can use this ability we have to create the dream, to weave the matrix here, and all that energy expenditure towards something that is the new dream of you, who you are in the New Earth timeline. And one way to work with very tangibly the energy expenditure that you have as a creator is to take exactly where you are in this pain, to transmute it, to alchemize it into something that is fuel for your growth. Fuel then that can be more momentum, more of a push behind your desires to make them so, to make this new dream of you realized. actualized, lived out. We have to stretch our belief and trust that we can create a new way of experiencing the dream of life on our own terms, from our own deliberate design. And we have to be awake to the fact that we are the dreamers. We are the creators of the dream. And we have to be resolute then in making this dream serve us in the highest and best way possible. And this starts with an elimination process of all that which you are not, so you can really stretch and expand, be the vessel of change that you're meant to be at this time. And so this elimination process is about, one, becoming aware of where you are holding yourself back from the new dream of you and getting keenly aware, like knowing full well who you are being, what you are doing, what you're saying, what you're believing, what you're thinking, that's keeping you limited and keeping you out of alignment with the new dream of you and the new earth timeline. So that's step one. Step two is going into the conflict, the contrast that you feel as a result of being this person, of self-identifying with this pain, this trauma, this emotional theme of grief, loss, anger, resentment, blame, etc. And having it be like front and center. So there's no more denying it. There's no more playing like la 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 la. I don't see you. I don't hear you. I don't talk to you. That's part of the elimination process, is getting fully aware of those limitations and what those limitations feel like in your body, to hold them, to create an identity for yourself around them. How have you done that? Why have you done that? Usually it's from a place of needing to survive. We are a species that has a very strong desire to survive. That's another pain that can be transmuted when we think about it. The need or the desire to just survive is kind of a trauma response when you think about it. But what if you took the pain of that and transmuted that too as fuel for change, fuel for growth, and realizing that, I don't have to just survive anymore. I'm here to thrive now. I'm here to occupy my master timeline and thrive. So what if you transmuted the pain of, I'm just trying to get through the day. I'm just trying to get through the week. I'm trying to get through this year. I'm trying to get through this whole fucking COVID thing. What if you transmuted that pain and understood that this is actually fuel? There's fuel behind this. Otherwise, it wouldn't feel so strong for me inside. Otherwise, I wouldn't have created my whole identity and personal reality around it if it didn't have some strength and fortitude and resilience in my energy field. That's fuel. It can be transmuted. Just like we take food in. We take food in and we digest it. Our bodies are amazing. We metabolize food so that it can become fuel, so that we can do all the things that we need to do. Food is energy. Emotions are energy. What if you took the emotional states that feel so strong and create, such a powerful kind of like puppet string in your life, where it feels like you're living at the mercy of this pain. And everything you do, everything you react to, everything you respond to, everything you say yes to, everything you say no to, is based around this core part of you that is constantly responding to this pain. What if we were to go through an elimination process of getting that out, but then taking all the fuel behind it, all the energy behind it, and transmuting it towards, well, what are my desires? What is my highest and best goal for me? What do I really want? And when I really sit with it, what do I see that I could really be that? I could really do that. I could really have that. What if we use the fuel behind our pain to create momentum behind our desires, instead of living at the mercy of self-limitation, self-discounting over and over again? And haven't we done that? Haven't we learned all the limits of who we are when we're playing at the level of our pain? Haven't we learned that yet? And if we haven't, why? What are we not willing to fully digest and say, okay, that's me. I can radically accept that I am this person. It doesn't mean through radical acceptance we have to stay there. It just means we have to fully notice and be cognizant and aware and present with the fact that this way of being is and has been self-limiting, and I'm done. I'm done. And when you think about how this self-limitation affects so many areas of our lives, you might start to realize, hey, there's a theme here. I'm living at the mercy of this flavor of fuel that's at the really low end of the vibrational spectrum. I could be playing with a different kind of flavor of energy here. Same energy expenditure. Takes the same amount of energy to be really angry and resentful and unforgiving of someone as it does to be in your joy, in your elation, in your bliss. Same energy. One is in alignment with the New Earth timeline and one isn't. So the first thing is becoming really aware, right? Becoming really, really aware of, where am I self-limiting? How am I doing this? What does this look like in my life, this self-limitation? 2 is sitting with the energy of it. Being really present and aware and radically accepting, like, okay, this is where I am. Because here's the key to moving into part 3 of this and transmuting this energy into fuel for growth. You can't move forward and move through your pain without radically accepting, all right, this is who I've been. This is who I've needed to be in order to survive, to get through something. But the problem is I keep living at the emotional level like I'm every day getting through this thing, even though the traumatic event may have happened months, years, decades ago, right? Because we keep dragging it into the present because it's become our emotional identity. What once was a habit and a trigger response has now become a way of being. It's who I am. And without radically accepting all the ways that you've done that, you can't move through the pain and transmute it. And then the third part is transmuting, transforming the energy behind the pain into energy that is behind your desires, energy behind the new dream of you. I am introducing a very awesome, helpful 3-day mini email course. All you have to do is be signed up to my email list, and I'm going to help you through those 3 steps. Over 3 days, I'm going to send you 3 audio tracks. If you are signed up to my email at kathrynmissel.com, it's in the header here of this video, but I'll put it in again. So all you have to do is go to my website. There is a pop-up window that, here, let me see if I can put that there. Nope. That's not it. Sorry, I'll find it. All you have to do is click on my website link, and there's a pop-up window that comes up right away that asks you to sign up for my email list. All you got to do is do that. And these 3 emails are going to go out Monday, June 7th, Tuesday, June 8th, and Wednesday, June 9th. And they're going to be audio tracks, 20 to 30 minutes long, talking you through these 3 steps and helping you. I understand that right now there's a lot of us processing a lot of these lower emotional vibrations that I'm talking about. Last year, it was in the US, especially the elections and Trump and all that nonsense, and COVID, obviously. And now it's to vax or not to vax. It's not a vaccination, it's a shot. That's my little 2 cents. And there are rifts being created in people's relationships. You know, we're losing people. Let's just talk about it. We are losing people who are transitioning more and more. Some of those transitions are voluntary, some are not. We're losing family members because of emotional disputes, things that we disagree on politically, health-wise, socially, conventionally. This is causing a lot of pain and grief. And even though here we are, we're moving into, in the Northern Hemisphere, the summer months, and we're going through a season of change, and we're ushering in summer, and it's a time that should feel kind of lazy and open, and Things are starting to open up in the world a little bit more, not in all parts of the world, but in some. And as much as we want to be feeling like things can be easy now, a lot of us aren't feeling that way, are we? Can we just be honest about that? Is anyone else feeling that way? And a lot of these lower vibration emotions are cropping up. And I'm having them in my own life on a personal level, to be totally honest and full disclosure. And so one of the ways I realize that I can transmute these lower vibration energies into something more powerful is constantly going back to, well, what is my soul purpose? My soul purpose and life purpose is to be of service. Part of my purpose is to turn pain and anything surrounding that in terms of lower vibration energy into purpose or something higher, something that serves a higher good. And so in going through my own stuff and feeling into my own levels of grief and rejection and maybe a little blame, a little resentment, misunderstanding, conflict within and without, and as painful as that may be, understanding that, we can only sit in that pity party for so long. And that's a powerful place to be, where it just feels like when we sit there longer in our pain and we don't allow that energy to move or transmute, it starts becoming a self-identifying factor. I'm depressed. I'm lonely. I'm unlovable, right? Instead of realizing that we have the power, just as much as we have the power to say, I want to sit in this pity party and do this thing, we just, in that same breath or in that same realization, we can say, I have the power, though, to move this energy, transmute it, shift it, transform it into something that not only serves me, but can serve a higher good as well. And I wanted to take all the pain and upset that I was feeling and turn this into something that it was going to benefit my community. And I know that this will benefit you guys. So this is some very candid 3-day audios that I'm going to send on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of this week. So all you have to do is be signed up to my email list. It doesn't cost anything. Yes, it is, to be in full disclosure, it is a lead into, if you like what I present in there, you should get into the In Alignment program that's going to be starting on August 10th. The next live group 8-week program is on August 10th. So you'll kind of see in this 3-day email mini course what the flavor of that program In Alignment is going to be like and what it could do for you. But this is going to be really helpful in its own right. And so I will also post this on my personal page, my business page, and in our group so that you guys can see to get in there. They're going to go out live. So I may bundle them up and have them here in my group. But the best way to get them is when they go out live this Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, June 7th through the 9th. Yes. So I hope that was helpful for you guys, and I hope that this can help you transform your pain into something that feels transmuted into something higher, something more hopeful. Because even the density of these lower vibration emotions that we experience so much, they are an illusion too. And everything that we create around that bubble that we create around that illusion, can be a very powerful and intense illusion. But we don't have to sit in that energy. And so I want to give you some tools to help you move that and shift that. So lots of love and peace to you all. Have a great weekend. Mwah. See you on my email list. Bye-bye.